Hi students, in this lecture we are discuss about food chain, food web, ecological successions. This lecture in course outcome 1, the knowledge level is understand, learning outcome. At the end of this lecture, student will be able to gain knowledge on food chain, food web and ecological succession. Now we are looking for food chain. Transfer of food energy from plants through the series of organisms. A food chain always starts with plant life and ends with animals. In any ecosystem, all the organisms are interconnected one another by food relationship. If any organisms die, they all are decomposed by microorganisms into nutrients and it can be used again by plants. And every transfer, nearly 80 to 90% of potential energy get lost as heat. The various steps through which food energy passes in an ecosystem, each link in chain represents each trophic level. All green plants denoted first trophic level T1, whereas primary consumers, secondary consumers and tertiary consumers are denoted the trophic level T2, T3 and T4. Finally, decomposer represent last trophic level T5. Interlocking pattern of various food chain in an ecosystem. In this picture, many food chains are interconnected where different types of organisms are connected at different trophic levels, so that there is a number of opportunities of eating and being eaten at each trophic level. Flow of energy from plants through different trophic level. Is there any difference between food chain and food web? Yes, of course, they have some differences. In a linear food chain, if one species get affected, then the species in the subsequent trophic level are also affected. But in a food web, if one species get affected, it does not affect other trophic level. There are number of opportunities available at each trophic level. In ecological pyramid, producer level forms the base and successive levels form interiors. In ecological pyramid is a graphical representation of structure and functions of trophic level of an ecosystems. In food chain, starting from producers to consumers, there is a regular decreases in the properties, that is energy, biomass and number of the organisms. Since some energy is lost as a heat in each trophic level, it becomes progressively smaller in the top. Pyramids are classified into three types: pyramids of number, pyramids of energy and pyramids of biomass. Now we are looking for a pyramid of numbers. In this picture, they have individual organisms are distributed in each and every trophic level. Example, grassland ecosystems. In this ecosystems, grasses are large and smaller in size, and it is distributed in first trophic level, whereas in primary consumers are grasshopper, which occupy second trophic level, since the number of grasshoppers are lower when compared to grasses. The size of each is lower. Secondary consumers are frog, which occupy third trophic level, since the number of frogs are lower when compared to grasshopper. The size of which is also lower. The tertiary consumers are eagle, which occupy the next trophic level. The number of size of the last trophic level is also lower. Amount of energy produced in each trophic level. At every successive trophic level, there is a heavy loss of energy in the form of heat. Every higher level, only 10% of energy is transferred, so there is a sharp decrease at each and every trophic level as we move from producers to carnivores. The amount of living organisms present in particular environment is known as biomass. This is the example of forest ecosystem. There is a decrease in the biomass from lower trophic level to higher trophic level. Now we are looking for next topic, ecological succession. The change on ecological community over a time, because one community may be replaced by another community till the development of stable community in a particular area. Fact Factors making in all ecosystems are due to natural and human disturbances, like forest fires and removing forests for agriculture. There are two types of successions, primary and secondary. For primary successions, it involves gradual establishment on land where no living organisms is present. Whereas in secondary successions, it involves the establishment of biotic communities in an area where some type of biotic community is already present. Process of ecological successions, which is explained in the following steps. Mutations. The development, it starts in a bare area without any life form begins. Invasions, it establishment start in one or more species in a bare area through migrations and followed by establishments. Competitions, as a number of individual species grow, that is a competitions with some species and between the different species for space, water and nutrients. Reactions, the living organisms take water, nutrients and grow and modify the environment. Stabilizations, it forms stable community with its in equilibrium with the environment. To conclude, in mature ecosystem which are more stable and more diverse, producers, consumers and decomposers, and the energy flow efficiency is also higher in mature ecosystem. In this lecture, students were able to understand about food chain, food web and various process of ecological successions. Thanks.